spending sleepless nights because of the level of things that are going on. There are too many things going on, and we're just not able to keep pace. Now, we have reached the level where the issues of elections are still ongoing, even though elections have been held and votes have been cast. We have not really, we've been told there is a winner and that there is a loser, but then we are also in a situation where the situation is not accepted. The loser, the so-called loser, the person who is declared as the loser, that is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is not accepting that he has lost the election. So it is not over until it is over. That is a very, very serious matter, because it involves a lot of things. If you listen to the current affairs programs on television, especially the morning programs, and you monitor what is going on, you will be horrified at the sort of information that is coming up. The inabilities of INEC as a body to have been able to or unable to conduct free and fair election is horrifying. Is unbelievable. If we have a situation where we're told that in INEC's budget there was a claim for sending out information through electronic system up to the tune of hundreds of millions of naira, and for us to be hearing today that INEC is saying that they actually did not go through that process is unacceptable. And then also for us to be hearing from monitors from different bodies to be saying that actually the process that INEC is saying it did not perform, that it actually performed it. There are witnesses now, that official witnesses of INEC, that are saying that that they actually did send those results through the system that INEC is saying that it did not send the results. So some people are lying to the people of Nigeria somewhere, somebody somewhere. So there is a conspiracy as far as the electorate should be concerned. There is a conspiracy to deny the electorate the desires of their electoral action, that is to vote. And then if you look at what has been going on and you cast your mind back to the issue of the CJN, that begins, it's like a puzzle. It begins to fit in. We begin to see why due process was not followed. We begin to see why a man was accused of something, and without that accusation being proven, he's been found guilty. At least if we look at the results or the that has come out of the judgment against the CJN, you will see very clearly where all of this begin to fit in as far as it affects the election. If you begin to take into consideration the information that is coming out, where INEC is now saying that actually it had to do the reporting or the uploading, if you like, of the results from the different polling units to local government level, all the way up to Abuja, that actually the argument that is now coming up is that it is not to do it electronically is not known to the electoral law. So now, if it is not known to the electoral law, then it means that INEC's claim that it did not do it by law, INEC is not faulty. If we take that, then we begin to see why the president had not agreeing to sign the bill that concerned the election, saying that it was too close to the election, or whatever excuse that would have been given as far as the election is concerned. Now, this should be an issue of grave concern to the Nigerian electorate. That it should be of more concern to people in the southern part of Nigeria, particularly to people in the Niger Delta region, the South-South geopolitical zone, and specifically to the people of Rivers State, who paid a huge price in the 2019 election, who were targeted. Rivers people were targeted. The state was targeted. Specific people were targeted. Most of the killing that took place in the riverine area. A whole local government was disenfranchised in the presidential election. The Akukuto local government area was disenfranchised in the presidential election. Now, it is good that our governor has said that everybody should come on board. It doesn't matter your political party, and that is the way it ought to be. That it shouldn't be about political parties in Rivers State or in any place in the Niger Delta region, as far as I'm concerned, in the southern part of Nigeria, in the whole of Nigeria, which also includes the northern part of Nigeria. That if you find it comfortable for yourself that elections are conducted in the way that it has been conducted, and specifically the way it was done in 2019, well, that might be good for you and acceptable for you, but it should not be good and it should not be acceptable for the people of the Niger Delta region, because we stand to lose a lot. We stand to lose a lot from the manipulations of the election. And the fact that the governor has said that there should be forgiveness and all of that, I key into that. But no matter what happens, we must not lose sight of the fact that the interests of Rivers State as a government, Rivers State as a state, and Rivers people, all the ethnic nationalities that make up Rivers State, is concerned, that our paramount interest should be equity and justice and loyalty to the people of Rivers State by anybody who is a politician or by anybody who is a Rivers person, not to work against the interest of the collective good of Rivers State and Niger Delta as a whole, because of their own singular, selfish, political or economic interest. No matter the amount of moving forward we're going to do, there are people in Rivers State that we must keep an eye on, and we must be cautious, and we must be vigilant that there are people who will do things politically in their own interest. It would be foolish for us to say, because all hands are on deck and because the governor of Rivers State has said that there should be forgiveness and all of that, it doesn't mean that we should be reckless, we should be careless in the ways that we look at politics, and in the ways that we demand for our expectations politically in the state. Now, there are other issues that are very, very critical. One of those issues is the issue of resource allocation, revenue rather allocation. Now, revenue allocation primarily is coming from oil and gas. Now, 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, the issue of the massive genocidal killings that has gone on in certain parts of the north and certain states of what is known as northern Nigeria, it has come to light, or what has been thrown up now as a reason is horrifying, because it has been going on for a very long time. It is just that it is only beginning to take the lives of people to the extent that the federal government had to make a statement on that issue. And that statement is that it is because of the illegal gold mining and other minings we are free to assume that has been going on in the north. It didn't start yesterday. It has been going on for decades. It has been going on quietly. And I think that it is sad that the lawmakers, our senators, our representatives, our governors, are not aware that illegal acquisition or access to resources has been going on in the northern part of Nigeria, while the people in the oil producing states have been criminalized for actually doing a similar thing, which is accessing what is in their land. So that's something that is of great concern, and our lawmakers must pay attention to this. Now, it is also coming out that the federal government, apart from what it has borrowed so far, and the only way it's going to pay back this money is from the resources that is generated in the Niger Delta majorly, which is oil and gas. Now, people tell us that oil is going to be obsolete in the next how many years? Well, as long as it has not been obsolete today, you're still using the resources of the Niger Delta to pay debts that you have borrowed without consultation with the people. Now, whatever powers is within the Constitution that allows a federal government, no matter who is there, whether it's Anki Briggs or anybody, no matter who is the president, whatever laws in the 1999 Constitution that gives you the right to borrow money from countries like China, that there are evidence to show that their practice of reclaiming or getting back money they have loaned is sinister, to say the least, where they have taken over resources of countries, of nations in Africa, is horrifying. And so our governors, our lawmakers must pay attention to this. So when we now hear to the extent that the federal government has to borrow money to sustain the budget, the 2019 budget, it is horrifying. And we must put a stop to it. We must say no to that, because it is the Niger Delta that is going to pay for this. Then, in the blink of an eye, you are hearing that there is closed-door meeting between Nigeria as a nation with another country as a nation in Abuja, and that the federal government is calling on this government, on this foreign government, to come in and invest in petroleum, which is in the Niger Delta, to come in and invest in pipelines, which is in the Niger Delta. So are we now going to find ourselves in a situation where oil and gas is going to be piped from Niger Delta to Qatar? These are questions that we have to ask ourselves. And our governors and our state and our representatives must ask these questions. And how is it that these decisions are being made, and the government of Nigeria will enter into some agreement with a country like Qatar that will tell us that Nigeria has a lot in common with Qatar? What do we have in common with Qatar? The only thing that we have in common as a country with Qatar is that there is a part of Nigeria that shares the same religion with Qatar. That's the only thing we have in common with Qatar. Now, if that resource is in the Niger Delta, then it begs the question, where do we fit in? How do we fit in? And this is why in 2019, before the elections, it became clear to Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement that given the option of the presidency being zoned to APC and PDP and being zoned to the north by these two political parties, that the people of Nigeria, particularly the people of the south, and specifically the people of the Niger Delta region, the political south, that we have no option to either one, choose one of those two persons, Buhari and Atiku, or don't vote for any. So where we have chosen to vote for one person or the other, it has to be based on what are they saying. And so the Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement accepted that out of the two, our best option as the electorate, not as political party members, but as electorate and as Niger Delta people, our best option between the two is Atiku. Not because of his political party, but because of what he said. What did he say? He said he will put in process the restructuring of Nigeria. Nigeria can be restructured. Now, the argument should not be whether he will or he will not restructure. Whether he will or he will not is not his personal choice to make. There are laws that will compel him if we know what we do, what we're doing, and what we want. And so the call to restructure Nigeria has been ongoing. It didn't start yesterday. It didn't start at Jonathan's tenure. It didn't start at late Yaradua's tenure. For as long as I can remember, we have discussed change to the way that revenue is shared in this country. So that is restructuring. If we're saying change the way, we're saying let us restructure. So it doesn't matter even when it started. What matters is that we must achieve restructuring of Nigeria. Restructuring of Nigeria will give us fiscal federalism. Fiscal federalism was what happened when cocoa was the mainstay. Fiscal federalism was what happened when groundnut and ginger and leather and hides and all those things were the mainstay. That was federalism. We want that. Now, the constitution we have, the 99 constitution, does not allow for that. We must work on the constitution. We are educated. If we are educated, we cannot continue to be as if we're not educated. And we cannot allow uneducated decisions to be made for us by uneducated people. No. We must make decisions and support decisions that is in the best interest of the Niger Delta people. Everybody else is doing it for themselves. And so I see no reason why we should be shy of making those decisions for ourselves. Now, if the federal government is calling on Qatar to come and invest in refineries, what refineries? Is it the one that is in Kaduna? If it's the one that is in Kaduna, where is the crude going to come from? Is it going to come from Kaduna? It's going to come from the Niger Delta. If Qatar is going to come and invest, I'm not against investments, but because you're hungry does not mean that you should not look at food that is offered you to know whether it is what you want to eat, or whether it is good for you to eat, or whether it is spoiled, or whether it will not be in your interest. If you have diabetes, because you're hungry, does not mean that you will now start eating the things that the doctors have said you should not eat. So, if we want investment, yes, but where is the investment coming from? And what is the reason behind the investment? And again, I want to caution our people, myself and yourself first, because the politicians are few. We're more than them. There can only be one governor at a time in one state, so we're more than them. So if we have given them powers to make decisions for us, we must make sure that they are making the right decisions on our behalf. If not, we should tell them that these are not the right decisions for them to make for us. Now, what is happening in the Northeast? The killing of Christians, the sacking of ethnic nationalities in their ancestral home, depriving them of their farmlands, and the people ending up in refugee camps. It is foolish of the Niger Delta people to think that it is happening in the north. It will not reach here. It's not true. It is right now manifesting in the north, but it has all the capacity to manifest here. To say that it will not manifest here is foolishness, because all the signs and the enablement is seen on ground. Therefore, to hide it because of fear, any type of fear, and not to speak it out, is to the detriment of today and tomorrow. We must be very, very cautious of what is in our interest and what is not in our interest as a people. So these are things that the governors and the lawmakers should pay attention to. A lawmaker said at the beginning of this week that Chinese government, Chinese companies, because you cannot relocate prisoners from one country to another without the government knowing about it. Now, if it is true that they are bringing convicts that are serving time for crime from China to come and be expatriates in Nigeria, in the mines or in the farms or whatever it is that they are doing, my people, this is frightening, because the figures of the census of Chinese people is in billions, and this physically manifesting their people in the continent of Africa, in every African nation that has resources. If politicians do not see this thing, I am not a politician, I am just an ordinary citizen that is protecting my rights, and I'm sharing this information with you, that if a country like China is relocating its people, even the colonial government did not relocate their people to Africa the way that they are relocating. Where they did in South Africa, you can see the result. In the 21st century, we have physical colonization of humans in Africa. They are not taking them in boats and planes as slaves, chained. That one, Africans are doing it by themselves, by leaving their country to go and die in Algeria and all those, in Libya and all those places. That's what our people are choosing to do for themselves. But what is happening is that they are coming, they are leaving their countries, coming into Africa, relocating into Africa. They've done it in many African countries where they have their own police, they have their own Chinatown, they have their own system of government and all those things. If we think it cannot happen in Nigeria we have a lot of mouths where we say it can't happen, they no go fit do am, they no go fit do am. When they do it, those people that say they no go fit, they will be the first people to run under the bed and hide. We have to face the facts and the reality that is confronting us